another story I tell is about Ethan, one of my son's friends. And when I took him to jiu-jitsu when he was 5 years old, hated it. Didn't come back. 6-year-old, took him again, hated it. 7 years old, hated it. 8 years old, hated it. 9 years old, he's totally fine, totally into it. And my point in saying that is he got really good really quick, and it wasn't like his life was ruined because he didn't train. And it wasn't even like if he wanted to become a world champion, he would have become a world champion, even though he was starting 5 years later than,
right.
even though he started training earnestly at 9. Doesn't really matter. Yeah. So we think that our kid, we need to make him into the world champion. Like, bro, chill. You know who's going to make your kid, you know who's going to make the kid into a world champion? The kid. The kid is. So give them some space, give them some room. Speaking of jiu-jitsu and imposing jiu-jitsu, and this is something I've talked about a lot on the podcast, and which is I imposed jiu-jitsu on all my kids in a big way. And when I say in a big way, I mean 7 days a week.
Not like what you're doing, Echo.
Thank you.
Once a week. I love it. I love seeing them.
Comparison.
Is it once a week right now, or is it twice a week?
Oh, for the kids?
Yeah,
one time. Yeah. Sometimes twice, but
it's once or twice. Yeah,
yep.
minimum once.
The mandatory. That's the routine.
And what's the reason?
What we always talk about, where jiu-jitsu is like they are not allowed to not know jiu-jitsu growing up, just for all the reasons that we explained and all the stuff or whatever. And they've accepted that. Yeah. So yeah, boom.
So just like you can't, just like you have to use the toilet and not like use the floor.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, good comparison.
Sure.
Just like you have to brush your teeth in the morning, you just got to do, hey, 1 day a week. That's just the way it is. That's just the thing.
Yeah, fully.
I think that's a really good policy. I think twice a week's a better policy.
Oh yeah, I
you know
agree.
what? Once a week.
I think once is good. Yeah. I think for like young kids, because even the thought of changing it from once to twice, like I just had a kid in my kids class cry, and his mom told me it's because we changed it from once a week to twice a week. I think once feels a little bit like, oh, that's fine, once a week. But it's like, bro, the second day comes by so quick that you're like, ooh,
again,
you know?
Yeah, especially, and kids, and you have the most experience probably because you teach kids class, or you teach my kids class. You see the difference. Like if a kid has like not that fun of a time, and then I gotta go again day after tomorrow, it's gonna be like more of a thing, you know. So they can have like a good fun. Like my son, for example, you make him go by himself, he's gonna be like, can we go late? Can we go home early? Whatever. But if he's with Jack. or whoever, like some new friend, Avery, he'll come in and be like fired up, ready to go, running around, and he don't want to leave. See what I'm saying? So it can be night and day, like for a kid. So
they like. He was like choking him out, having so much fun learning, doing the technique with Jack. Yeah.
Yeah, having a friend really makes a huge difference.
So
hey, and by the way, that's not just for kids.
Yeah.
Like today for open mat, I just texted like the group, and I was like, "Hey, and I was kind of like, this and that. I got busy, and I was like, "Hey, is anyone who's training?" And like, few people, Roger, Greg train, Dr. Luke. We're like, hey, I'm in. And as soon as I saw them, I was like, totally pumped.
Hell yeah, ready to roll.
You didn't respond, by the way.
Oh, well.
Road work.
That's right. You were doing road work.
But that's how my older sister and I got back into jiu-jitsu. We would just go to Victory to Nogi literally once a week and just go in the corner and do the moves and tell each other, oh yeah, this doesn't work. Like we would literally be like, I think I could get out of this. I can just limp arm out of this. But we would have fun, and like, having a partner, when you show up, you don't have to do that like look around, no one's making eye contact with you. It's worse, especially if you're a girl too. Not even to play the girl card, but like it is like worse. And just having that set partner that you're like, okay, if no one else wants to roll with me, I have that one person. We can just roll 5 rounds if we want. Yeah. You know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned getting back into the jiu-jitsu, but for a while you got out of jiu-jitsu. And again, I believe this is because of me, because I was so like just passionate about jiu-jitsu. And, you guys were training every day. You were, on Saturdays and Sundays, it was like 5 hours. It was like 5 hours in the gym. Actually, one of you was saying the other day that, because you'd go in, you do the striking class, you do the grappling class, and then I would go do class, and then I would do open mat. So there's 5 hours. And this is on a Saturday, every Saturday and Sunday. But I think it was either you or maybe your brother was saying you would be sitting downstairs waiting for me to hear my flip-flops coming down the stairs, and you'd get like excited.
Yeah, we would.
Like what? It's time to go. Time to go.
Yeah,
home.
it's time to go. And when it wasn't his flip-flops, bro, sit back down. We gotta push through, you know.
And the other thing I did that was not smart is I would make you guys compete, and not only that's not bad enough. Make you compete and then put you up a weight class, put you up a belt level, put you up an age group. And so you're going with kids that are more experienced, heavier, and older than you. And
was that intentional?
Yes. In my mind, I was like, oh, I want to make these.
In my mind, it was like because the tournaments were so small, it was like all the girls are going to go together no matter what belt, like level.
Sometimes it would be that. But then they'd be like, well, you know, because I would know the people running the tournaments. And they'd be like, hey, Jocko, do you want your daughter to go in this group, which is like lower or her age? And we got 3 girls in there. And we got 2 girls or 3 girls in the older group. And I'm like, yeah, put her in the older group. And I'm not kidding. I 100% in my mind thought I was doing you kids the biggest favor in the world. And just like, oh man, imagine how good they're getting right now. And here's the reality of the situation is you enter the tournament, you go with someone that's bigger, stronger, heavier, and older than you. You get smashed. It's not fun. You get defeated. You get humiliated because all fighting combat sports and all single opponent sports, where it's just you and another person, there's no team. Like it's all you. And so it's humiliating, and there's an added component that in jiu-jitsu, you have to admit that this person is a superior predator than you are. Even if it's on a primal, like subconscious level, in your mind, even as a little kid, you go, oh, I can't stop this person from physically doing whatever they want to me. And actually, I think it was Huberman who either he had a guest on or we were talking about this, but the way you should actually set things up when you do it intentionally is you should try and get not just kids, but everyone. 80% of the time they're winning.
I think that was Jordan Peterson.
Oh, was it Jordan?
Yeah, I'm
okay.
pretty sure.
So 80% of the time you're winning, 20% of the time you're losing. That's like, you feel good. Oh, I got beat, but I know I can win. So I put you guys in scenarios where oftentimes it was 90% losing. And it just,
I don't even really remember winning like one, to be honest.
You won some?
Oh, I won against my friend.
Oh yeah, you had to go against
Like,
one of your friends and you beat her and then you were crying.
Yeah.
Because you were sweet.
It's bad.
Yeah. It's bad. So what all the outcome of all this bad behavior by me was you and your sister and your brother were just like, we don't want to go. I remember
because we're just gonna get our ass kicked.
Oh yeah, because I would also do this in practice. So like at the gym, it's like, oh yeah, because at the gym, you've got the classes from whatever 8 to 13. You got 13-year-old boys in there, and I'd be like, Rana, here you go. Well, this kid is got a mustache. You know what I mean? And Rana's 8. So it just wasn't fun. I didn't make it fun. And this is the biggest thing I tell people now with your kids. And it's just not with jiu-jitsu, man. It's with everything. Make it fun. If you happen to have a kid, because I've had kids, there's been kids like this at Victory over the years. You might have a kid that's a natural competitor, and fun for them is going really hard and competing and sometimes getting beaten. There's kids like that. It's 1 out of every 100. It's 1 out of every 100. Most kids, first of all, they don't really care about the thing that you care about. Like they're like, dude, what is this weird stuff where we roll around on the ground and try and choke each other? I don't even, I don't want to do that. I want to draw, or I want to play baseball, or just some other thing. And sometimes you're the one that's into baseball. Dude, you don't understand, dude. You know how awesome it is for a person to be able to hit this tiny ball that's flying at 90 miles an hour. Do you know what kind of human skill that is? Kid's like, I don't freaking care. It means nothing to me.